Welcome to the Gilded Age, my new favorite books to read, my new favorite series to look for. I'm slowly compiling some of these. Some of these I've already done on my channel, so please check these out. There's quite a few of them in this list that I've done previously, so please check out those videos. And I'm Christina, KRISTINA, and it's nice to meet you. I hope you're having a good day. I'm trying to learn sign language here for teaching. I need all the help I can get. So we'll see what happens here. But anyway, we are going to start with my favorite gal pal that I'm currently reviewing right this minute. So I think I'm on book 4 of the series. So please check out these videos. We start with, now we're doing, and please hit the like and subscribe. I have, as of yet, as this recording, to hit 200. I was hoping at Christmas to hit 1,000. Hell, I can't even hit 200. What am I dreaming? Why am I even fathoming hitting 500 or 1,000 subscribers? It'll never happen. I'm just dreaming. But anyways, if you could help me hit 200, that'd be nice. That's the first step. I was at this particular number, and then I lost 10 subscribers. So I had to regain those subscribers. So it's like every time I get a bunch of subscribers, I'll unsubscribe. And according to my analytics, you've already moved on. You're not even here anymore. So I'm that horrible at doing videos because I have no special effects. I have no computer skills. I have no money to do. I don't want to download any programs. This computer is quite old. As you can see, the video and the audio is not on the good side. I'm doing what I can. And what you see is what you get. The old editing program, what you see is what you get with RootsWeb. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I did some shorts, I found this book the other day. I didn't know that. And I should have done it a little more enthusiastically, but the setting wasn't conducive to being more enthusiastic, and I read some of those. And those have done pretty good. Check those out. They're only 20 or 30 seconds a piece, so check those out. But anyways, we are doing this FN. I hope you watched Star Trek earlier today. I work really hard on those videos, and apparently nobody's watching. In the olden days, people were watching. Maybe only a minute or two, but they watched. Now, all of a sudden, the series is tanked. I don't know what's going on there, but I've had weeks when only 5 or 6 people have watched the video. There used to be weeks when people would watch 100 people would watch the video. Now nobody's watching. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you find some good books to read. We're going to start with my Victoria Thompson. We are doing this series right now. I am reading each one every couple of days. We're on book 4. We started with them the other day, so check out my video for the full review on this. But Sarah Brandt is a very wealthy woman. Her parents are extremely wealthy, and however, they've had a disagreement over her sister's death and her marriage to a doctor. And her husband died 3 years ago. He was murdered, and she's decided to pursue a career as a midwife. And her parents are just aghast. How could their daughter be doing this? So they haven't really spoken in a while. They're a little estranged. And she meets Frank Malloy, a detective sergeant with the New York Police Department. And this is probably the latest book. And I don't mean latest. What I mean is one of the closest ones to 1900. Most of these books are going to be it's going to be a little before the Gilded Age and during the Gilded Age. But some of the ones I have, the earliest one is 1803. So this is one of the later ones. So Sarah Brandt gets in with Frank Malloy, and they solve a murder each book. She also helps him with his son Brian, who is deaf and has a club foot. She gets him to the right doctor. She starts a relationship with Frank's mother. Frank's wife died after childbirth. So it's a really good series. We're getting to know them. If you could please check out those videos, I'd really appreciate it. I'm working hard on them. This says, after routine delivery, Sarah visits a patient in a rooming house and discovers that another boarder, a young girl, has been killed. At the request of Sergeant Frank Malloy, she searches the girl's room. She discovers the victim from one of the most prominent families in New York and the sister of an old friend. The powerful family, fearful of scandal, refuses to permit an investigation. But with Malloy's help, Sarah begins a dangerous quest to bring the killer to justice before death claims another victim. So if you like Victoria Thompson, I have a newer book, but I'm not going to talk about this one. C.S. Harris. I'm working on gathering these up so I can do these as a series. The first one is What Angels Hear. This is in 1811. The series starts, and it's What Angels Fear. In 1811, and the threat of revolution haunts the upper class of King George III. England, the beautiful young woman is found raped and savagely murdered on the altar steps of an ancient church near Westminster Abbey. A dueling pistol discovered at the scene and the damning testimony of witnesses point to one man, Sebastian St. Cyr, Viscount Devlin, a brilliant young nobleman shattered by his experience in the Napoleonic Wars. Now a fugitive running for his life, Sebastian calls upon his skill as an agent during the war to catch the killer and prove his own innocence. In the process, he accumulates a band of unlikely allies, including the enigmatic beauty Cat Bowen, who broke Sebastian's heart years ago. In Sebastian's world of intrigue and espionage, nothing is as it seems, yet the truth may hold the key to the future of the British monarchy as well as Sebastian's own salvation. And he later becomes friends with a coroner, and he helps him out solving cases, and then gets involved with the lady, and the series progresses, and we will do that series. We will start with What Angels Fear, so look for this video in a couple months. I did this video a couple of weeks ago, so please check it out. Christine Trent, A Lady of Ashes. In 1861, Violet Morgan is struggling to establish a good reputation for undertaking business that her husband has largely abandoned. She provides comfort for the grieving, advises them funeral fashion and etiquette, and arranges funerals. And she actually does the embalming too. So if you like forensics. Unknowns to his wife, Graham, who has nursed a hatred of America since his grandfather soldiered for Great Britain in the War of 1812, becomes involved and ashamed to sell arms to the South. Meanwhile, Violet receives the commission of a lifetime, undertaking the funeral of a friend of Victoria and Prince Albert. But her position remains precarious when Graham disappears, and she begins investigating a series of deaths among the poor, and the closer she gets to the truth, the greater the danger for them both. So please check out that video on that book. I thought I had this one. I don't. I'm almost positive I had this book. Wait a second. It's been misplaced. I know I have it. Please see the video on this book from a couple of weeks ago. Annalie Herber, The Autonomous Wife. Scotland, 1830. Following the death of her husband, Lady Darby has taken refuge at her sister's estate, finding solace in her passion for painting. But when her hosts throw a party for the cream of London society, Kira is unable to hide from the ire of those who believe her to be as unnatural as her husband, an autonomous who used her talent to suit his own McBray purposes. Kara wants to put her past aside, but when one of the house guests is murdered, her brother-in-law asks her to utilize her knowledge of the human anatomy to aid the insufferable Sebastian Cage, a fellow guest with some experience as inquiry agent. While Gage is clearly more competent than she first assumed, Kira isn't about to let her guard down as accusations of rumors swirl. When Kara and Gage search leads them to even more gruesome discoveries, a series of disturbing notes urges Lady Darby to give up the inquiry. But Kira is determined to protect her family and prove her innocence, even at the risk of becoming the next victim. And I don't know if I didn't really like it all that much, but it was a good story. But she's at this party and these people are stuck in the same clothes for 3 days. It's just weird. So the fingers get pointed at all different directions. You'll have to check it out. This was a good one. Waiting for the next book in the series. Please check these out. I did these a few weeks ago also. Catherine SCHELLMAN, The Body in the Garden. This is London, 1850. Though newly widowed Lily Alder is returning to society that frowns on independent women, she's determined to create a meaningful life for herself even without a husband. She's no stranger to the glittering world of London's upper crust. A ball thrown by her oldest friend, Lily Walters, she expects the scandal, gossip, and secrets. What she doesn't expect is to find the dead body in Lady Walters' garden. And she was like out walking, and she gets involved with this guy. And it's a good story. You'll have to really check out the video. Lily overheard the man just minutes before he was shot, young, desperate, and attempting to blackmail. But she's willing to leave the matter to the local constable until Lord Walter bribes the investigating magistrate to drop the case. Stunned and confused, Lily realizes she's the only one with the key to catching the killer. Aided by a roguish Navy captain and a mysterious heiress from the West Indies, Lily sets out to discover whether her friend's husband is mixed up in blackmail and murder. The unlikely team tries to conceal their investigation behind the whirl of London's social season, but the dead man knew secrets about people with power, secrets that they would kill to keep. Now Lily will have to uncover the truth before she becomes the murder's next target. Please check out that video. Oh, and I like this series too. It takes place in London, and I did this whole series, and I'm waiting for the next book. We did them all. Let's just wait for my friend here to stop ringing. Darcie Wilde, a useful woman. Rosalind Thorne. Please check out those videos. She becomes an investigator, and she even prints up little cards for herself, business cards. And she starts working with Bow Street Runner and gets involved. And then there's also this really rich guy who wants to offer for her hand too. And it's a good story. She has friends that are reporters, and she gets involved with them. It's a really good story. And please check out those videos. The daughter of a baronet and minor heiress, Rosalind Thorne was nearly ruined after her father abandoned the family to survive in the only world she knew. She began to manage the affairs of some London society's most influential women who have come to rely on her wit and discretion. So when aristocrat wastrel Jasper Ainsworth is found dead in London's most exclusive ballroom, Almack's, Rosalind must use her skills and connections to uncover the killer from a list of suspects that include Almack's most powerful patronesses and her former suitor Devon Winterbourne, now Lord Castlemaine. And he does try to offer her again, and she does kind of politely refuse him again. But it takes a few books, and it's a good story. And sometimes I wish when I was reading those books that she would take the Duke's offer on it, because then she would be a duchess and she would have some power and influential, and people would have to help her. But being a regular person, maybe being a duchess, the regular people or the poor people wouldn't assist her, and maybe there are more poor people and regular people than rich people in London. It just and her sister eventually shows up, and her father eventually shows up. They're not as dead as she thought they were. But it's a good series. You'll have to check it out, and please check my videos out on this too. On this next series, I really love this next series, and I've been doing videos on it, and I'm waiting for the next book. You will see it as soon as it comes out. Andrea Penrose, Murder on Black Swan Lane. The Earl of Wexford poses a brilliant scientific mind, but when boredom and pride lead him to reckless behavior, he does not suffer fools greatly. So when pompous, pious Reverend Joshua Hallworthy publicly condemns him from debauchery, Wexford unsheathes his rapier wit and strikes back as the war of words escalates. London's most popular satirical cartoonist, A.J. Skill, skewers them both, but when the clergyman is found slain in a church, his face burned by chemicals, his throat slashed ear to ear. Wexford finds himself the chief suspect. And he gets in a relationship with AJ Quill. Wink, wink, wink. Something in the Air, the Lady Jack Mystery Series. London, 1887. When dubiously acquired American fortunes are exchanged for a respectable British title, everybody's doing it. Raised by a man with no heart, heiress Kate Del-Amort swore she'd never marry until she lost her head to Jack Penrose, a British lord. Low on funds but full of fun. Now the honeymoon's over and Jack's always away at his club. And though Kate's new relatives are thrilled with her fortune, they find her American self appalling. Then people start dying, and otherwise seemingly intelligent detective from Scotland Yard seems to think Kate's to blame. The Gilded Age has a dark side. When a body turns up on the Penrose estate, Inspector Gabriel Hart would like nothing better than to arrest Lord Jack. The last time the man killed someone, he got away with it. There's only one small problem. It seems the murder was ordered by American-based terrorist organization bent on disrupting the Queen's Jubilee, a group known to have ties to the father of Jack's Dollar Princess Bride. Shelley Fremont, A Gilded Grave. 1895, the heart of the Gilded Age. The socialites spend their summers in Newport, Rhode Island, within the walls of their fabulous cottages. Competition for superiority is ruthless, and so are the players. Please look for a video on this in the next couple of days. During her first Newport season, Diana Randolph attends a ball given in honor of Lord David Manchester, a Badian sugar magnate, and his sister Madeline. The Manchesters are immediate success, along with their exotic manservant and his fortune-telling skills. But on the nearby cliffs, a young maid lies dead, and suspicion falls on Joseph Ballard, a member of one of the town's most prestigious families. Joe humiliated Diana when rebuffed an engagement to her, but while he may be a cad, she knows he is not a killer. When the reluctant allies must navigate a world of parties, tennis matches, and seances to find the real killer. But a misstep along the glittering upper class could leave them exposed to something far more dangerous than the malicious gossip. I have also done this series. Please check out my videos. I'm enjoying this series. Emma Cross, she works for the newspaper, the gossip columnist. She will move up to crime reporter. She's going to get into a relationship. She takes care of other women. She's a very distant relationship to the Vanderbilts. And she has lots of friends in this town, and it's in Newport. And we have several series here on this list that all take place in Newport. So, Alyssa Maxwell, Murder at the Breakers. Newport, Rhode Island, 1895. She may be less well-heeled relation, but as a second cousin to a millionaire patriarch Cornelius Vanderbilt, 20-year-old Emma Cross is on the guest list for a grand ball at the Breakers, the Vanderbilt summer home. She also has a job to do, report on the event for the society page of the newspaper as ever. But then her brother gets in trouble. Emma observes much more than glitz and gaiety when she witnesses a murder. The victim is Cornelius Vanderbilt's financial secretary, who plunges off a balcony faster than falling stock prices. Emma's black sheep brother Brady is found in Cornelius' room, passed out next to a bottle of bourbon, and stolen plans for a new railroad line. When Brady has come to before the police arrest him for murder, Emma is sure someone is trying to railroad her brother and resolves to find the killer at any cost. Please check out those videos. That was a good series, and I'm still doing it as the books come out now. So please check out the videos for those. I also did this one. Another good book. Did I just do this already? I did this. Catherine Shellman, The Body in the Garden. I have it listed twice on my list. That's how good it was. Anne Perry, The Face of a Stranger, a William Monk novel. His name, they tell him, is William Monk, and he is a London police detective. But the accident that befell him has left him with only half a life. His memory and his entire past have vanished. As he tries to hide the truth, Monk returns to work and is assigned to investigate the brutal murder of a Crimean War hero and a man about town, which makes Monk's efforts doubly difficult since he's forgotten his professional skills along with everything else. Alright, check out this next series. I've also done videos on this series, so please check out these books also. I really enjoyed the series. I complain a lot about the social etiquette. What's her name? Prudence. She doesn't have a chaperone. She doesn't have a lady's maid with her. She does stuff all by herself. And then she goes into a business with a man and becomes investigative partners with a man and doesn't go social parties, doesn't do social etiquette. She's almost like Sarah Brand. And the only reason it bugs the life out of me is because every once in a while they bring it up. If they just left it alone, and if she was more like Sarah Brand, who did the midwifing and was always involved with normal people, who didn't hold to the standards of the higher echelon, it would be okay. But every once in a while, the author chooses to make a deal over it. And it's like one in every so many books. And it irks the crap out of me that the author decides to make a thing out of it one every so many books. She travels with this guy in cars. She goes with this guy on trips. They go to Europe. They go on a boat. They go on a cruise. There's no chaperone. There's no maid. There's no nothing. I'm like, what the F? They're not even, they may have feelings for each other, but they've never even kissed that I remember. They're just friends, I guess. The whole thing just, otherwise the series is good. The detective part of it and the stuff they get involved in is good. But they have a few little pet peeves about it, but it's still a good series. So this is the first one, What the Dead Leaves Behind. Set amidst the opulent mansions and cobblestone streets of old New York, this enthralling historical mystery by Rosemary Simpson brings the Gilded Age to life in a tantalizing tale of money, new love, and grave suspicion. As the great blizzard of 1888 cripples the vast machinery, this is New York City's heiress Prudence Mackenzie sits anxiously with her palatial Fifth Avenue home, waiting for her fiancé's safe return. But the fearsome storm rages through the night. When daylight, more than 200 people are found to have perished in the icy winds and treacherous snowdrifts. Among them is Prudence's fiancé, his frozen body, his head crushed by a heavy branch, his fingers clutching a single playing card, the ace of spades. Close on the heels of her father's ultimate demise, Prudence is convinced Charles' death was no accident. The ace of spades was a code he shared with his school friend Geoffrey Hunter, a former Pinkerton agent and attorney from the South. Wary of sinister forces closing in on her, Prudence turns up to Geoffrey as the only hope in solving a murder not all believe in, and to help her protect her inheritance from a stepmother who seems more interested in the family fortune than Prudence's well-being. And there's some stuff going on there. Please check out the video for the twisty turnies. Also, next up, this is another series I've done all the books in. I'm patiently waiting for the next one to come out. Please check out these videos. Rhys Bowen, RHYS BOWEN, the Molly Murphy series. Murphy's Law is the first book. Molly Murphy always knew she'd end up in trouble, just as her mother predicted. So when she commits murder in self-defense, her boyfriend tried to rape her. She flees Cherished Island under cover of a false identity for the anonymous shores of the late 19th century America. When she arrives in New York and sees welcoming promise of freedom in the Statue of Liberty, Molly begins to breathe easier. When a man is murdered on Ellis Island, Molly was seen arguing with becomes the prime suspect. It's also that she comes over with 2 kids. She meets this lady on the docks who is dying, and she has tickets to America, and she won't last a couple days. So she asks Molly to pretend to be her and take the kids to New York, and that's what Molly does. Molly brings 2 kids with her. If she can't clear her name, Molly will be sent back to Ireland where the gallows await. So using her Irish charm in which she escapes Ellis Island and sets out to find out why wily killer on her own, pound the notorious streets of the Hell's Kitchen and the Lower East Side. Molly undertakes a desperate mission to clear her name before her deadly past comes back to haunt her. But she's also got 2 kids she's carrying around with her, too. We already did Victoria Thompson. Charles O'Brien, Death of the Robber Baron. Novice private investigator Pamela Thornton is hired by Lydia Jennings to investigate mismanagement at her palatial cottage, Broadmoor Hall, in the Berkshires of western Massachusetts. Pamela discovers the butler living a double life at Lydia's expense. Soon Pamela has to deal with a mare's nest of family troubles, mostly generated by Lydia's husband Henry Jennings, the ruthless and unfaithful copper king whose sole purpose in life is to become the richest man in America. The climax becomes at Broadmoor during Henry's 4th of July party. At a grandiose event that he personally orchestrates, the next morning his body is found in his study. Pamela's boss, the lawyer Jeremiah Prescott, joins her for the investigation. Now they have to figure out from among the many suspects who killed Henry Jennings. P.B. Rhine, Still Life with Murder. Boston, 1868. The dawn of the Gilded Age, an urgent era of burgeoning commerce and invention, of unimaginable new forces and lavish excess. For some born in a dismal poverty, young Neil Sweeney scratches by on her wits and little else until fortune blesses her with a position as a nursery governess to the fabulous wealthy Hewetts. But she soon learns the ugly secrets lurk beneath the surface of their gold-plated world. The Hewetts' eldest son, William, a former Union Army battle surgeon, and the black sheep of the family, was reported to have died 3 years before in a notorious Confederate prison camp. But one snowy February afternoon, his parents learn that he is in fact still alive and in jail for having murdered a man while intoxicated on opium. Infuriated by his son's deception and convinced of his guilt, August Hewett forbids his wife from coming to Will's aid, so she begs Nell to exonerate him. Nell finds that she must devolve into the kind of dark and treacherous underworld she thought she left far behind if she is to unearth the truth before the hangman's noose tightens around William Hewett's throat. Always, she's got to go off. Every video, several times a video, she's got to go off. Check out my New Year's Eve 30-30 Janet Ivanovich video for her identity. Alright. Book 16, Mary KRUGER's Death on Cliff Walk. Set at the turn of the century, the Newport, Rhode Island Death on a Cliff Walk introduces debutante Brooke Cassidy, who teams up with the local cop Matt Devlin to solve a murder that reaches to the heart of Newport's glittering society. Alright, we've got a couple more here. Rhys Bowen is doing another series, Above the Bay of Angels. Isabel Waverley only means to comfort the woman felled on London streets. In her final dying moments, the woman trusts a letter into Bella's hand. It's an offer of employment in the kitchens of Buckingham Palace and everything the budding young chef desperately wants. An escape from the constrictions of her life as a lowly servant. In the stranger's stead, Bella can spread her wings. Arriving as Helen Barton from Yorkshire, she pursues her passion for culinary delights, served to the delighted Queen Victoria herself. Best of all, she's been chosen to accompany the Queen to Nice. But what a fortune! Until the threat of blackmail shadows Bella to the Riviera and a member of the Queen's routine falls ill and dies. Having prepared the royal guest's last meal, Bella is suspected of the poisonous crime. An investigation is sure to follow. Her charade will be over and her new life will come crashing down if she isn't sent to the gallows. So look for this in the next couple months. I did the first book in this one. This is the second book. I just thought I'd bring it out. It's 1803. Rife with tension, political, social, racial, and financial, as the city expands for whoever knows where the city will build can control it. When a young girl is found stabbed to death, both Justy Flanagan, a city marshal, and Kerry O'Toole, a schoolteacher, find their way to a reclusive community on the fringes of growing city, where they uncover a craven political conspiracy bound up with criminal enterprise stunning its depravity. Murder mystery. And our final book for the day goes a little earlier and goes to America. I'm pretty sure this is America. 1812, Matthew Hubbard, a soldier turned spy, is stranded behind enemy lines in America at a country at war with Britain. Heading for the safety of the Canadian border, Hawkwood's route takes him to Albany with a chance of sighting of a former comrade in arms, Major Douglas Lawrence, with a consignment of British prisoners stymies his plan. For as the two men make their escape, they uncover an American plot to invade Canada. If it is successful, the entire continent will be lost. The British authorities must be warned. Pursued by a relentless enemy, Hawkwood and Lawrence set off across the snow-bound Adirondack Mountains, the land the Iroquois call the hunting grounds, but they are not alone. Buried deep in Hawkwood's past is an old alliance that could save both their lives and help turn the tide of the war. This is just an honorable mention, but it looked good. James McGee, The Blooding. So, I hope you enjoyed this If Then series. I hope you will join me for Victoria Thompson. I'm getting ready to do Murder on Mulberry Bend. So please check it out in the next day or so. And please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I'm trying really hard here. You have, please be nice in your comments. And please hit the like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm losing subscribers on a daily basis. We're almost finished. We have finished Patterson by this juncture. And I'm going to start maybe doing All X Cross, or maybe I'm going to do another series. So look forward there, because I'm a serious person. Please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.